Hi everyone, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the 4th of June. I'm Jackson. We've got a 15 skill stat. Before I go through this though, I want to just cover the golden pursuits real quick. So there'll be timestamps and chapters in the description if you want to skip through. But yeah, I'm just going to cover real quick what I would do for this stuff. So there's 27 options in total. You need to complete 18 to get the Bantam Gua, like Cadwell version I suppose. There's also a statue at 12 for Molig Bal, and then there's 15k gold as well. As far as options, one thing I need to point out is one of the options at the moment is actually impossible to do. There's not enough time to do 5 weekly endeavours in the time that you have to complete this golden pursuit. They are changing this one. I did check on the forums, and there's a couple that might be dependent on you as well, because I personally can't do these two. I can't do this one on my main account, yada yada. So these ones here, I wouldn't do them anyway, because these two are super expensive. Especially the bank one. Like, upgrading your bank 10 times can cost you like hundreds of thousands of gold to do. So I would not suggest these ones. They're quick to do, but they're very expensive. These ones fairly straightforward, but if you don't have any characters, like character slots, and you've got max level characters everywhere, you can't do this one. But these ones aren't really great anyway, personally. Like, there's so many other options that are easy anyway. Like, this is a very easy golden pursuit. So yeah, we'll make a video on this. But yeah, quests, either do writs, do like guild dailies, or do pledges, or do just regular quests, honestly. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing, like, do the main quests of zones to get some skill points. Especially with subclassing, if you want to go down that route, you're going to need a lot of skill points to be able to clear those, because they take double the amount of skill points. But yeah, you can get more using... You can get 3 skill points per zone that you do. So those are some of the quests you can do. But if you want to do these quests as quick as possible, either writs or create a new character and do like a bunch of those initial quests, like the getting the house here, starting the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild, not the Undaunted, the Antiquities. If you have Greymore, you can go to Western Skyrim and go to the Inquarian Circle and do that. You can do the first main quest, the Harbourage, because that's literally just go there and listen to the Prophet, ramble on for a while. And you just delete the character and redo that over and over, and you can get a bunch of quests done that way. But yeah, writs are probably going to be the most practical option. Defeating enemies, you could do Dolmens, you could do Skyreach once, because there's like nearly 300 enemies in Skyreach Catacombs, and they're all instanced. So the importance of instant stuff is that nobody else will be able to go in there and kill them. You won't have to wait for them to respawn. But you can do other stuff. You can do trials if you want. You can do public dungeons. Yeah, you can do tons of stuff. Personally, I would just do Skyreach if you want to do this as quick as possible. But you also have to consider that there are other things, like, for example, there is doing incursions, doing world bosses, stuff like that. So you can do other stuff while you do this one as well. There's not many like fighting ones though, so this one's kind of in its own league alongside incursions. But it's not a terrible option. You can do this in like 5 minutes, less than that. Ults, obviously you can just cast ults whenever they're up, but there's a couple of ults that you can block cancel. This is where subclassing also helps a lot. If you can get access to... Oh yeah, that's right, I can't show it. So if you can get access to the Sorcerer Stormcalling or the Warden Animal Companions line and level them up to about level 12, that's when you get the ultimates of those. And those you literally just overload. You just cast the ultimate button over and over, and you can just toggle it on and off, and that counts as casting it. And then the Animal Companion one, while it's channeling for like the 3 seconds, you just block and it stops it. And you can just do that 20 times. It's a little bit obnoxious with the noise that it makes, but that one's easy enough. And there's other things. You've got Dawnbreaker, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing with the dual wield ultimate. The two-handed ultimate, but that requires a target. Some classes have ones that you can do that with. Nightblades have Soul Shred. Stuff like cast Soul Shred and then block. That, yeah, as you can see, it counts for ultimates. So you can just do that a bunch of times. So just cast ultimate and immediately block. And it'll basically Schrodinger's ult, where it ults but it also doesn't ult. So it counts, but it doesn't use your ultimate, so you can just keep doing it. Updating an outfit, very easy. Just go to any outfit station in the game. If you are hiding your helmet like this, just use the hide helmet option and the clear slot option, because the clear slot option doesn't cost anything, and the hide helmet option doesn't cost anything. The only thing is, if you do have a helmet on, you can't do that. You'll have to hide helmet, and then you have to pay again for whatever option you had before. In that case, I would suggest instead just one of your item pieces, just dye it in a different color, and then dye that one piece, like one section, in a different color again. I think that's 200 gold in total, which is not much, but yeah, if you don't have hide helmet, there's no way to do it without paying. Just worth keeping in mind there. Yeah, 200 gold. I assume most people have that sort of thing. Crafting with any skill. You know me, I like to suggest going to an inn, buying the 2 recipes from the chef, the cooked apples recipe, and the baked apples, sorry, and the banana surprise recipes. Going to this pier here, getting a bunch of apples and bananas from this area, going to the cooking station over here, and then just crafting a bunch of food. And you can also double dip that into consuming foods as well. So that's nice. And then you can also craft drinks if you want, but I personally steal my drinks as well. Laundering items at fences. What I like to do for this one is I like to go to Craglawn. Home tours, if you haven't been here before, you find Elenir Private Arena over here somewhere. And you travel to that, and you just travel west, and it's easy to get to. Come into this building, go up to the 2nd floor, and take all the stuff from the... There's like a desk, and it has a bunch of cooking ingredients on it. There's like garlic, a rabbit, stuff like that, and then you take all that stuff and launder that. And then there's also some like greens baskets and some millet sacks and stuff like that, and then some barrels and boxes around on the top floor outside as well. So I just like to grab 15 of those items, go into the Outlaws Refuge right here, launder all the stuff, and then if it's not enough, just exit the Outlaws Refuge, everything will reset. You just do that again and repeat the process. It just takes a couple of minutes. You could also do the same thing in Necrom if you've got that DLC. Go to the Telmarni Peninsula, go from the Wayshrine, you go a little bit north up here, and the door here, and the Necrom underways are here. And there's tons of urns you can grab stuff from in there, and you can just go into the Outlaws Refuge in that hallway, and then launder do the same thing, just launder. And then obviously you can just do the same thing in Vocal Guard if you don't want to bother traveling around. You can just do the same thing here with all the wardrobes, and especially the sacks and stuff upstairs. There's a bunch of ingredient, like provisioning stuff you can get up there too. Pickpocketing, I would avoid this one personally, because unless you're really good with pickpocketing, like unless you've leveled up Leisure Domain like crazy, there's a chance to get a bounty, and you can stack up quite a bounty if you haven't got much Leisure Domain. So I would just do all the other stuff first. But it's not that. It's a little bit slow, but not super slow. The main issue as well is that if other players kill the people that you're trying to pickpocket, you can't pickpocket them anymore. So other players can make this more difficult than it needs to be. Containers, same thing as what I said before with Craglawn. I just go in here and grab all the stuff up here a bunch of times. You could also do the same thing in Necrom Underways, or you could go to Imperial City, go into the, stay in the safe areas, and all the weapons from the weapon racks and all the swords and armor and stuff you find all over the place, and all the containers, just go through those and loot those. All the items on the weapon racks and stuff, like all the swords and shit, they count as containers. Jeez, you're right there, that was obnoxious. Yeah, so everything there counts as containers. There's dozens of things that you can grab, and they if you leave and come back, it'll reset everything. So if there's not enough stuff to do 50, you can just do it again. Just keep in mind you will need a little bit of inventory space. I'd say around 40 maybe, but just go 50 to be safe. You can do the same thing in a bunch of places. You can do the same thing in Dragonstar Arena. You can do the same thing in Maelstrom Arena if you've been there before. But unlike Imperial City, you can't just leave quickly and come back. These here, you have to travel away and then travel to them again. If you exit Maelstrom Arena, it takes you right here in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, it's not as practical, but still fine as an option. Harvesting resources from the world. Pretty much anything counts except for chests and insects, like the torch bugs, dragonflies? I think I'm thinking about Ark, whatever. The torch bugs, wasps, the butterflies, and the flesh fly swarms, those don't count. Pretty much everything else does count though. Alchemy plants, ores, jewelry seams, cloth plants, yeah, like water, like the swirling water bits in the water. I don't think fishing counts, so I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, pretty much everything else is fair game. Just go to Craglorn if it's not busy and just loot a bunch of stuff. You might get some gnome crux as well while you're doing it. Might be really good. Alright, player homes. If you've got your own one, just travel to your own house 5 times. Just walk in, walk out, walk in, walk out, walk in. Or you can use home tours just to travel to random houses. You can do the same there. If you don't have a house yet, just come to this location here. I'm going to use this anyway for the endeavors. But where this house is, there'll be a lady you can talk to if you haven't got one already. And she'll give you a house for free. And she also gives you the house comes with a furnishing. So when you go into the house, just pick up the furnishing, put it away, and there'll be a button at the bottom left that says undo. You just hit that button and then the redo button, and you just spam those as quick as you can, and that counts as placing the furnishing over and over. So that's a quick way to do both of those. World boss, there's 2 ways I suppose you could do this. The easy one to get to is Western Overlook. It's just slightly north of the Wayshrine. You just have to jump off the wall. So what you could do is just sit here for a while and wait for it to spawn 3 times. Or you could do something like in Green Shade, there's the world bosses here, you just do these a couple of times. Could do the same here, this world boss, go here, here, this world boss here, here, and then go back. Same thing in Alka Desert, you could do these 2 here, back to back. Got the Wayshrines here near them. It is also part of the weekly, but this is a weekly I personally avoid when I can, so I'd rather do this or this one. Incursions, this is just dolmens. So you can do other things, but dolmens are the quickest and the easiest. So in Auradon, this dolmen, and this dolmen is the pattern or the cycle. So this dolmen will go, and then this dolmen will go, and then this dolmen will go, and then it will reset. So get this Wayshrine, and this Wayshrine, and just do the dolmens when they come up. Or you can go to Alka Desert, do the same thing. This usually has a group you can get an invite from. If you just go there and type on NA, I think it's X, Y, or Z, and in EU PC, I think it's plus dolmen. Not 100% sure. I never come here anyway, but this zone has Wayshrines all near the dolmens as well. You've got this one here, and then this one, you got this one. So it's super easy to do the dolmens here too. Deshana is also one I quite like sometimes, because it's less busy. Sometimes I like doing dolmens on my own, if I've got a strong character. But yeah, Auradon is like my main place for doing that. And you only need to do 3. So just do a full cycle and that's it. And they're quite easy to do. If you're running low on resources while you're killing the stuff, if you're on your own, the pinions that are like on each corner of the circle, just close them when they come up, and you'll get resources back from them. It's quite helpful. Selling items to merchants, literally just sell stuff, and you don't have to sell the stuff completely. You can sell it and then buy it back and keep it. So even if you don't have anything to sell, just sell like a stack of something over 20 and then buy it back for no cost. And then that's an easy way to do that. Acquiring a new Mundus, you could either go this one here, right outside the Wayshrine that you start with, or you could go this one here because it's quite quick if you've got this Wayshrine. The Thief Mundus can be found here with this Wayshrine. This is the quickest one I find to get to. I know most people use the Thief, so I imagine that's what you want. Or you can use Guild Hall. So this Guild Hall here, for example, is the EU one I go to. Guild Halls can have Mundus stones in them. Some do, some don't. The issue is that they each cost like 4,000 crowns to purchase, and that ends up being like hundreds of dollars if you want to buy them yourself. So it's a big investment. Only very specific places have them, and you know, fair enough. But yeah, you can do that, and using it in guild halls because they have all the Mundus stones. You can grab a random one, and then you can grab the one you had before, so you're not inconvenienced. Whereas otherwise, you'd have to travel to 2 different ones, and that just takes longer. Just takes a little bit longer. That's all. Claim rewards, very easy. Just go announcements here. It'll look a little bit different on console, but this thing here, you just click this whenever it's up. and it'll get the daily rewards as they come along. Should still have plenty of time to do that one. Like I said, weekly endeavor, you can't do this. I think they're changing it to 1, so you just have to make sure you do 1 weekly. As you know, I do the weekly videos, so you can check those if you need. I haven't done the weekly for this week yet. I've been a bit busy, sorry about that. But I'll be doing this as soon as the daily's done. Earn ranks in the skill line, just level them up. I have a video for leveling with dolmens for how I do it. I'll link that in the description if you want that. And same thing with earning levels. I have a dolmen grinding build that I use that I've shown. So yeah, just check that video. I could go into detail here. You know, Sky Reach Catacombs, Spellscar, Black Rose Prison, super quick. But yeah, I personally just do the other options. But that's mainly because I'm high level, so I've got nothing to level up anymore. Yeah, just dolmens is the easiest way, or doing dungeons, stuff like that. So leveling up mount, riding skill, this one here, right next to the Wayshrine, you can find them here. So just talk to them and train it, and that's it. If you want an add-on to automatically do it, I have, what is it called? Is it Lazy Mount Trainer? Lazy Horse Trainer, that's right, yeah, this one. Automatically, you literally just talk, press E to talk to him or whatever, and it'll just instantly do it for you. But it prioritizes speed, carrying capacity, and then stamina. So if you don't like that cycle or that those priorities, you can change it as well. Consuming drinks, what I like to do here is go to Stonefalls in this building here, go into this room, just go into the corner, steal the items here, and then if there's not enough, just leave the zone, come back, and do the same thing twice. Go to Imperial City to reset it if you want to do that as quick as possible. And then consuming foods, just eat some of the food that you make from the crafting with any skill, the crafting with or making food with the items at the pier, the apples and bananas. Or for both of these, you can get the it's got the Crown Fortifying Meals, and you've also got the Crown Refreshing Drinks. So these come up in daily rewards every now and then, or from crown crates if you don't convert them into gems. Personally, I'd convert them into gems because you can get these easier, easy other ways, but you can't easily get gems. Yeah, you can drink or consume those as well to get this one done quite easily. And then obviously you just got other foods that you can find. You can find foods and drinks in random places. There's a couple of foods you can find in here too, which you could use. So if you want to do that instead. And then purchasing an item from guild traders. I'll show you how to do this one super quick. Very easy. All items, hit the total, make it sure it's got the up arrow, go search, and whatever the cheapest possible thing that you can buy is, it'll show it here. So just buy that, and that's that challenge done. Very easy. And then if there's not many cheap items that you can see, just try other ones. There's heaps and heaps of guild traders out there. For example, there's 5 here in Skywatch. In Deshan, there's 7. Try the random ones out in the middle of nowhere, though, because I find those have just tons of cheaper items. But yes, very, very, varies greatly. So yeah, a lot of easy options here to choose from, which is good. To recap, probably don't do these two. You can't do this one yet, but that will become one weekly endeavor, I think. Everything else, pretty good. If you don't have any low levels, you might not be able to do these, but that's fine, because, yeah, pretty much every other option is good. I probably wouldn't do this one myself, or this one. And, yeah, everything else is usually fine. This one as well, I'd probably skip. Okay, endeavors. So refining, gallery furnishings, law book, complete a trial, and capture a town in Cyrodiil. I don't like trials, and I don't like towns. Trials, the issue is that usually you need 12 people. You can go with less, but preparing a group, by the time you get a group to do a trial, let alone doing the trial itself, you'll probably be able to do these 3 options here quickly, like that easily. Same with the town. This one can be quite quick and easy, but the issue I have is that there's 3 towns in the game. Hold on, I need to set a campaign as home, I think. It's 3 towns. You've got this one, Bruma, you've got Vlastris, and then you've got Cropford. So the issue I have with this is, so imagine I only have Old Mary characters on this account. I can't do any I can't actually do this in this campaign because all the towns are actually under our control. So it's highly dependent on the interaction with other players. And the easiest time to get to these is usually when they're taking yourself, and in that case you can't do them anyway. So sometimes, like, if I was Ebonheart packed, like, there's no keeps nearby any of these towns. It would take ages to get to them. You could die on the way and you'd have to respawn back here. You could start doing them, other players could see you doing them and then come to stop you, and then you'd respawn and have to fucking wait again. So the consequences of failing this are much greater than the other options. The easiest time to do these is if you see your faction owns this keep right here, for example, that leads to Cropsford, this keep or this keep, because that will cut off the enemy from being able to travel to these locations and make it easier to take yourself. But even then, it's still unreliable. And that's the thing, like, that's the hard part. The easy part is actually doing it. The hard part is getting there sometimes and dealing with players if they show up, because you know how PvP be, man. So there's some fucking psychopaths in PvP that will just grind your face in the dirt and make it not even look like an effort. But yeah, try it if you want. Just understand it's very unreliable, I find. Sometimes there'll be no keeps that you can travel to unless you're, like, part of that alliance or whatever. And in this case, just, like, I would not even want to bother trying to get to these, let alone do them. Obviously, you've got 4 campaigns, or 3, depending on how high level your character is, and you should check those too, but they're just so unreliable. Usually I try to skip this when I can, personally. Alright, as for the other 3 options, Lawbook, Gallery Furnishings, and Refine Raw Materials, I do go find your Lawbook, unless you've already got a book in your house. In case, you could just do that as well. Refining Raw Materials, I usually buy these. I just buy some wood, and then do the Gallery Finishing last, because once you're done with everything else, you can immediately travel to your house, and you can do that from anywhere. So it's more convenient if you do this last, because you can do these other 2 and then immediately travel in. That being said, if you've got some raw materials to refine, and you've got a crafting station in your house for refining stuff, you could just do all 3 of these in your house, actually, if you have a lawbook there. But I'll just assume you don't. So, lawbook, all you have to do is come to this wayshrine here in Volkagard, just go slightly northwest into this building. Look to your left, over here, read this, and that counts as a lawbook. There's also this you can read, just be careful of stealing from this stuff here. Okay, next is refining raw materials. Firstly, you need to have some raw materials to refine. The best ones, I think, to use is rough wood, because they are the cheapest. Raw cloth, ores, jury seams, jury dust, sorry, and leather, like raw leather, is usually way more expensive. So if I go woodworking, yeah, so rough ruby ash, it's 9 gold a piece on average. That's way too much though. Always look at the unit price if you're going to buy a big stack of stuff, because the total might be cheap, but the unit price might be way higher than you should be spending. I'll also link in the description the video, oh sorry, not the video, for the link to Timecodes Trade Center, which is how I get the sale average for this. Because if you see something which has a much higher sale average, well, like unit price than the sale average, probably don't buy that. Just go to another guild store and have a look. You can go find it yourself if you want. That will take a while though. 50 is a lot, because 5 times is 50 materials. It's quite a bit. But maybe what you could do is do 6 options today. Get your gold from the rewards for the Golden Pursuit, and then use that 15k to buy a little bit of rough wood for this. Because if you have a little bit of gold to convert into these 15 seals super quick by just buying some and refining it straight away, I'd say that's very, very much worth it. Because it's easy to get gold, it's not easy to get seals quickly, sometimes. So yeah, the only other way I would do this is via surveys. So, for example, we got some woodworking surveys down here. So these are just, they give you 6 nodes worth of a like rich nodes worth of a resource. It gives you anywhere between 120 and like more than that sometimes, because each one gives you a minimum of 20, and there's 6. So you can easily do 2 lots of this endeavor using a woodworking survey, or like any of the other surveys, you could do the same. Try to have a couple of passives, so if you have a crafter, do it on them. because you can get the passive that increases the chance of getting quality stuff from refining. So use them if you can, but it's not a big deal if you don't, especially with wood, because everything's super cheap with wood. I should point out, if you are going to use a survey for this, if it's your last one, just be aware that if a survey endeavor comes up in the next few days, you might be screwed if you don't get another survey from writs. Probably do a bunch of writs anyway, because that's the easiest way to do the quest one. But yeah, just keep in mind, you might get a bloody survey endeavor that comes up. They always do, and it's bloody inconvenient. Alright, so in this case, I've just got some rough ruby ash lying around, so all you do is go quantity 5, and then refine it through this menu here. And that's it. All you gotta do. See what I mean? If you've got the resources for it, super quick. If you don't, and you have no money, it's a lot of nodes to harvest. Because it's like between 3 and 7 per node. So, anywhere from like 20 nodes of woodworking items. I mean, it's not that bad in that case, because you do need to do one of the options is to harvest resources from the world anyway, right? So it's probably not that big of a deal. Honestly, it will probably still be quicker than doing a trial or a town, I think, if you do it that way. Maybe. Okay, so now I'll talk about gallery finishings. So firstly, you're going to need a house. Like I said during the talk with the Golden Pursuit, just come here. There'll be a lady you can speak to if you haven't got one of these free houses yet. Just talk to her, complete her quest, and she'll give you a house. The house you get depends on your alliance, but you get 1 of 3, which I'll show you in a minute. Gallery furnishings, there's 2 I would suggest. One is from Alliance War, funnily enough. So each of the alliances have like some safe gates that you can just walk around with without getting into fights or anything. You want to look for the achievement furnishers in these cases. So Athragor in Ebonheart Pact, I believe they are... where are they? Are they not in that building? I thought they were. With this one here. So, Listens to Sea, you speak to them to get the same thing. And in Covenant, it's that like deck chair or icon you're looking for. Or the inn icon, like that one. So yeah, achievement finisher, Lozatusk. So any of these people here, so achievement finisher, go into this menu, and what you're looking for is Dominion Pennant Small. This you get from basically starting the Alliance War skill line. It's only 200 AP, which it's very easy to get 200 AP through monthly rewards from doing the tutorial in Cyrodiil. You get like thousands. So yeah, if you haven't spent your alliance points, you probably have tons to spend on this. This is a gallery finishing, so you can use this for the endeavor. You only need 1. And that's the case for each of these 3 achievement finishes. They'll have that item there for 200 AP. Just keep in mind they are bound, so you can't trade them to other people. So you can't just buy them. But it's ridiculously easy to get them. So in this case, I'll just travel to one of these free houses. This is the one you get for being Ordinary Dominion and completing the quest. The other 2 are Ebony Flask for Ebonheart Pact, and then you've also got the Resi line for Daggerfall Covenant. If you want to know where they are, you just click on them, and it'll show you where they are on the map. So let's go to this one, for example. Alright, the area itself is quite small, but that's fine. You don't need a big area. So, if you want a list of all the different gallery furnishings in this game, you can go through these options here and have a look at them. I've gone through them in quite a lot of detail. The only 2 I would suggest you use, one of them is that Penance from Alliance War. The other one I'll suggest you look at is, so you bring up the housing menu at 5, browse with the R key, go down to gallery here, and Undaunted trophies. So when you complete a normal dungeon, you'll get an Undaunted trophy. If you don't have any at all, I would highly advise that you go to Fungal Grotto 1, complete Fungal Grotto 1 once, so you have Krag the Dread King. You can do whichever one you want to do. That's the quickest to do by far. You can do it in like 5 to 10 minutes if you like, probably less than that if your build is like super strong. You can just go in, kill the 2 main bosses and nothing else. Like, you don't have to fight anything else. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. And then when you get these, you can place them. You put them down, and as you can see, counts as a gallery finishing. at the bottom left there, you can see it says undo. You press that, and then you press redo, and then that will count as placing it twice. And you just press undo to put it away. Now, the good thing about these Undaunted trophies is that they don't actually take up inventory. So you don't have to carry like a piece of furnishing around if you ever want to do this, or you have to keep one down on the floor. You can just have these in your inventory without taking up a spot and just bring them out. Now, that being said, having them just on the wall and just going up and hitting them and then putting them away and spamming undo redo is a quick way to do it. So it is worth mentioning with that. But these can be quite small and limited in space, so sometimes you might not want to deal with that instead. But yeah, I'll leave it up to you. As for doing a trial, Group Finder, look up trial and make sure you go normal. It's something to do with... oh yeah, a Steam Cage. This is the new trial. So if you have the Worm Cult DLC, you might be able to do one of these. There'll probably be a lot of people doing these quite frequently at the moment because there's new sets to collect and all that. But I would say the amount of time you're still waiting for this is going to be longer than just doing these other 3 options. And then, yeah, obviously town, like I said before, just queue for these here and go in and have a look. Maybe ask other people if they want to take a town too for the endeavor, see if they want to help you, because towns go down quicker when you have a group. Alright, so that's everything. If you have any questions, as always, just let me know in the comments. But daily's done. I'll be doing the weekly soon as well. I know I've been a bit slow with that, but I had stuff going on, so I just had to do that first. But yeah, I'll be also going through the Golden Pursuit as quick as I can. There's a lot to go through, but at least everything's pretty straightforward this time. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time, and take care.